Hey, this is Misfit Rider. We're going to do a couple of reviews for Lady Misfit Rider here for her channel. And the first thing we're going to do a review on is a helmet. We're going to do a helmet review here on the SEC Windstorm Express white and red. It retails for approximately around 2,800 pesos. And for the price, it's got some good features and it's lacking a couple places as well. So we're going to talk about it. First of all is the looks of it. It's not a bad little helmet. I got the kind of a matte finish to it. The downside of the matte finish, it does show dirt a little bit easier. I do like it though. It does have a little bit of almost a, you can see it here against the white background, kind of a spoiler back edge to it. The good thing, the major thing I like about this helmet, in the heat of Manila, it flows air wonderful. Even though the chimney vents are fairly small, it still flows air pretty good because you got a pretty good chin vent here, and it lets in quite a bit of air to it. And of course, with it being a modular, if you really need the airflow up at, say, a stoplight or somewhere, you can always pop the top up to it. Got our back vents to it, so it's really going to take that warm air and kind of run that back across your head, come out and exit to the back. Back vents are pretty important. I'm not a fan of helmets that don't have vents in them, because I just can't stand the heat here. So it's got pretty good airflow to it. The other thing I like is for city riding here, just around town, it's actually a pretty light helmet for a modular. It's got a nice little weight to it. It doesn't actually list the weight itself in grams, but trust me, if you pick one of these up, it's for a modular, it's actually not too bad. I've owned quite a few modulars over the last couple of years, and this seems to be one of my lighter ones compared to the Spider Sierra I have and my LS2 Metro. So weight-wise, it's pretty sweet. Got our visor open here, and it opens pretty wide. Gives you a good field of vision. When you're sitting there and you got this on your head, you really don't even notice when you turn your eyes to the left or right the sides of the helmet. So it's got a nice wide field of vision here to it. So one thing I really like about this one is it has a pretty good drop down visor. It comes down low enough to where it cuts off enough of the sunshade. You don't really notice it. It's not cutting half of your vision off. It really drops down nice and gets a pretty good sunshade to it. The actuator is good as well. It's not a spring type. It's completely manual. Slide it forward, visor comes up, hit it back down, visor drops down. So not a lot to go wrong with this one over time. No springs to come loose or cables. I think it's just kind of attached directly to it on a lever, and it'll give you a pretty good up and down response to it. And it's also easy to find right here on the side with your left hand. You can just reach right up, hit it with that hand, pop it up, pop it down. So a drop down visor on this is very nice. Other good feature I like to it is the chin bar release. Very easy to get to. You have a chin skirt here to cut out some of the noise and dust and debris that you get here in Manila. And you think, oh, you got to reach around here, but they actually cut a little slit in here. So you can just reach right up, hit this button, pops right up. So the chin bar release on this is actually pretty nice. Pretty good design to it. Enjoy it. So you still get the chin skirt, but you can pop that up. Chin raises up nice and smooth. Let's open it up here, get this out of the way. One thing I really enjoy in a helmet is the comfort factor. So you wear them for a couple hours at a time, and this one for the price point is actually a pretty good comfort helmet here. It's pretty plush on the insides. It actually, we'll take it apart here in a second, and I'll show you the inside of this because it's actually not bad a helmet. So it's very comfortable. Padding's nice, soft. I don't get any hot spots or any pressure points wearing it, so it's pretty nice. I also enjoy a ratchet lock to it versus D-rings. The only downside with this ratchet lock is, versus my LS2 Metro, it's stainless. This one is not, and I sweat a lot here in Manila, and it corrodes over time. So the ratchet lock's good, just wish they would have made it stainless, but the price point, what do you expect? So let's delve on the inside of this. Let's take it apart. It's going to snap out. Pretty simple. Pop the other one out. Nice and simple. The back snaps out. And then it's going to come down from the front here. Almost like some of the newer ones. You just pop them right out. The thing I like about this at this price point, if you can see it, it actually has kind of that 3D mesh liner on the inside here. So it helps flow that air through those channels. Keeps you cool on those hot riding days. I wish it would have extended further a little bit more here to the head. But you know, most of that's going to be covered by the foam on the insert anyways. So that's our interior of this. And it's attached, so you can't really remove it and clean it. I think it's glued in there. But you can almost make out some of the air channels to it. So that's one nice feature to it. Even at a lower price point, it has that soft kind of breathable mesh on the interior. And then we've got our interior foam, nice and plush. A lot of holes through here, let it breathe. And then these are kind of the same, got that kind of mesh to them. It's a very comfortable interior helmet. Now let's go over a couple things that are kind of cons to it. I've had this helmet for a little over a year, so I've had a lot of experience with it. And there's a lot of good things to it, but there also is a couple of drawbacks. The plus side is the lightweight, but it's also kind of a con on this because the lightweight of it is, it flexes easy. So it makes me sometimes suspect about its ability to kind of hold up if there is an accident. So it's very lightweight, but it's also a pretty given helmet as well. Whereas with my LS2, it's not flexing quite like this. So it's a lightweight, but it does kind of flex pretty easy. Also, the other thing is the lenses compared to some of the other helmets I've had are not quite as optically correct. I noticed just a little bit of distortion around the edges of the visor, and on the sun visor along this bottom ridge here, there's more distortion in it than what I get on my LS2. So it's a pretty good helmet, but so there are a few things. Optically correct isn't quite there. The other thing I'm a little suspect is the lockdown points on this thing. Where the chin bar comes and connects, this area here is plastic, and then the knobs, if we can get a shot of them, they're right there, let's see them move, are also plastic. That makes me wonder if you got this down and you do take a hard fall on the front here, I don't think that plastic's going to hold. I suspect it's going to shear off and this is going to pop up and then your face is going to be mush. So I'm not a fan of the plastic lockdown points on these. It seems like it could be a little bit of a safety issue. I would have liked to have seen it. I would like to have seen them do them in more of a metal. And I'll show you, I've got my LS2 Metro, and we'll kind of give you a comparison of what I'm talking about with this. Because as I said, these are just plastic. It's, you know, it's just going to break right off or snap out of there. So for safety wise, I don't use this one on long rides. I'll use it if I'm just running down here to the market or up to the SM Mall, because I don't trust it in a high-speed impact. So for a commuter just around town, it's pretty good. If you're looking for something for longer rides and safety, I would upgrade to at least say some type of Spider modular or definitely an LS2 modular. They turn out a pretty good product. And speaking of the LS2, we'll show you what the contact points on it look like. So this is my LS2 Metro, and this is actually a pretty good helmet. We'll talk about it later. But as you can see, these contact points are actually metal. The port here, and then if we can get a shot, an interior shot here, right here, these are also, you see it moving, There we go. This point is also metal. So when it snaps down, you get that metal on metal contact versus plastic on plastic. So that's one downside to that is I really wish they would have spent the extra 50 cents and put some metal into those. But other than that, the lack of metal contact points, it's not a bad little helmet. Like I said, I'd use it around town more so than long rides or for high-speed rides. I think it's pretty lacking in safety issues if you're looking for it, like I said, like a touring. If you just run into the market, to the palenque, wherever, it works pretty good. Go to palenque each morning. Yeah, so if you're going to palenque, it's working pretty good. So overall, would I buy this helmet again? I would, for what I use it for. Like I said, just go in the store. If I could only own one helmet and go along, yeah, I definitely wouldn't get this one. I would just save my money, go with some type of LS2. It's not, well, I guess it's about, most of them are, it can be about double. But, you know, it's hard to put a price on your head. It's hard to put a price on safety. So if I could only own one helmet, it wouldn't be this one, but it makes a good backup, just driving around town type of helmet. So this has been Misfit Rider talking a little bit about the SEC Windstorm. And I hope you enjoyed the review. We'll see if we can punch out a few more of these later on. Thanks. Peace out. Oh.